The observation chamber hummed with tension as High Counselor Thexvar rewound the footage for the 7th time. Around the crystalline table, representatives from 43 civilized species watched in mounting horror as the scene unfolded. Again on the holographic display, human child, no more than 5 solar cycles old, scaled, a vertical rock face 30 meters high. But that wasn't what made the council's circulatory fluids run cold. It was what guided the child upward. A juvenile earth predator, barely weaned, showing the small human where to place its fragile appendages. "Pause there," Thexvar commanded, his mandibles clicking nervously. The image froze on the young human's face, not fear, but pure joy radiating from its features as the cub placed its paw on the next handhold. Ambassador Yilri of the Conformity Union spoke first, her vocal sacs inflating with distress. "They're teaching their young to hunt using predator instructors. This is beyond our projections. Not hunt," corrected scientist Morna, adjusting her optical enhancers. "Watch the human at the base." The footage continued. A female human, identified in their databases as Ilya, a child development specialist, stood below with arms outstretched, calling encouragement. The cub, designated as Corin in human records, chirped and pawed at strategic points on the rock face, demonstrating technique the child eagerly mimicked. "They call it play," Morna said quietly. "Cross-species cooperation beginning at the infant stage." The counselor from Vex Prime slammed a appendage on the table. "Impossible. Predator and prey do not cooperate. The natural order—" "The humans have no natural order," Thexvar interrupted. "That's what we're failing to understand." The footage shifted to another scene. Corin, now slightly larger, led a group of human children through a forest obstacle course. The cub demonstrated how to navigate fallen logs, how to use momentum to swing between branches, how to read wind patterns through vegetation movement. The children followed, laughing, competing, pushing themselves beyond what should have been possible for such underdeveloped creatures, and Elia observed it all, taking notes, refining the curriculum. "They're weaponizing childhood," breathed Ambassador Yelri. "Creating warriors through games." "No," Morna said, her voice tight with realization. "They're doing something far more dangerous. They're building trust across species boundaries at the neural development stage. These children will grow up seeing cross-species cooperation as instinctive." The council chamber fell silent except for the ambient hum of life support systems. Thexvar brought up another file. "This is 6 cycles later. The human children were older now, perhaps 11 solar cycles. Corin had grown into a formidable predator, muscles rippling beneath tawny fur, capable of taking down prey 3 times its size. Yet there it sat, patiently teaching a human adolescent named Marcus advanced climbing techniques on a sheer cliff face. Marcus fell. The council gasped collectively. Corin moved with liquid speed, positioning itself on a ledge, catching the child on its back. The human grabbed the cub's fur, laughing at what should have been a fatal mistake. Elia's voice came through the audio feed. "Good catch, Corin. Marcus, remember your 3-point contact rule." "They trust each other with their lives," Counselor Vex Prime whispered. "At this age, my species barely trusts our own siblings." Thexvar pulled up the final piece of evidence, the one that had triggered this emergency session. This was recorded yesterday. The footage showed Ilya, now designated as director of the Human-Animal Cooperation Initiative, presenting to a packed auditorium. Behind her, Corin sat calmly, a fully mature apex predator surrounded by humans who showed no fear. Children sat in the front rows, their own companion animals beside them: wolves, bears, great cats, raptors. "For 300,000 years," Elia said in the recording, "humanity survived by adapting, cooperating, and teaching. We didn't just domesticate animals, we formed partnerships. We learned from them. They learned from us. Now as we reach toward the stars, we bring this gift with us." She gestured to Corin, who stood and addressed the crowd in perfectly articulated Standard Galactic. "Humans taught me that strength without wisdom is just violence, that the climb matters more than the summit. That teaching is the highest form of trust." The audience erupted in applause. Dozens of species, hundreds of individuals, celebrating the dismantling of the most fundamental rule of galactic civilization: separation of predator from prey, maintained through rigid social structures and technological barriers. The recording ended. The council sat in shocked silence. They're exporting this, Morna said finally. The human ships carry not just their people but their animals. Their philosophy. 7 colony worlds have requested the Cooperation Initiative curriculum. 14 species have inquired about educational exchanges. They're going to reshape galactic civilization, Ambassador Yilri said, her voice hollow. Not through conquest. Through childhood. Thexvar stared at the frozen image of Corin and the human child on the cliff face. 2 beings who should have been mortal enemies, instead bound by trust forged in the vulnerability of youth. We spent 10,000 years building walls between species to maintain order, he said quietly. The humans spent 10,000 years teaching children to climb those walls with predators as their guides. They didn't just survive their death world, they befriended it. So what do we do? Counselor Vex Prime asked. Thexvar looked around the table at representatives of civilizations far older, far more advanced than humanity. Species who had mastered physics, bent space-time, built empires across galaxies, and every single one of them was terrified of a teacher and a cub showing children how to climb. We watch, he said finally. We learn, and we pray to whatever powers we believe in that when humanity reaches full influence, they remember that we welcomed them peacefully. On the display, frozen in time, Corin placed a paw on the rock face, and a human child reached upward toward the stars.